I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
Anyone claiming that America's economy is in decline is peddling fiction.
I've abandoned free market principles to save the free market system.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Raising the debt ceilings does not increase our debt. It does not somehow promote profligacy.
I know words. I have the best words. Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why I alone can fix it.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday, and welcome back to the Peddling Fiction Podcast. I'm your host, the voice and soul of so-called fiction, Johnny Profita, and back with me to get this Friday kicking is Justin Hillbilly Boy Campbell. What's up over there in Hillbilly Land?
Oh, it turned cold again. It turned cold again. It was nice. It was like 60s and 70s there for a couple days, and now it's back to like 40 degrees and rainy and fucking miserable. Typical February shit.
And what are your goats doing these days?
Being assholes. I walked out there to feed them earlier. So we've got 3 of them. There's the bigger one that's my buddy that likes to play headbutt. And he's my friend. And then we got 2 littler ones that they are both just absolute assholes. The female, she wants to jump on the pig all the time. And the pig is just sweet as can be. Like, she'll run up to you and rub her head on your leg. She just wants all the love. This little bitch goat just keeps jumping on her back and being an asshole. And then the little male goat, he wants to bite you. Like, he's a biter. I'm about ready to cook these 2 fuckers.
Some goat, like a nice goat curry or something. That could be good.
Man, there was this old dude that worked for us on the farm when I was a kid that we raised goats and hogs. And every year for the 4th of July, my granddad would let him have one of the goats. And they would like dig a pit and get like a bunch of coals and logs and stuff down in there and get a nice fire going. And then they would basically like skewer the fucking goat and sit it down in there and spit roast it more or less. Oh my gosh, that's some of the best shit I ever had. Amazing. Because they'd always be like, yeah, come up, hang out with us for the 4th. And so we ate good.
Yeah, we probably we're also going to suffer from starting the podcast today right at about lunchtime, talking about food. But anyway,
everybody.
Yeah. Anyway, it is Friday, so we have a little Friday humor poke fun at, I think, to start off the show. Depending on your perspective, I suppose.
I guess so. I have found this to be some of the funniest shit to have come out of the second Trump administration. The Democrats who have just completely lost their mind about Elon Musk it's next level crazy. Completely unhinged, screaming Democrats call Musk a Nazi, bash DOGE amid meltdowns outside the Treasury building. So for those who aren't aware, DOGE has gone into effect. It was one of Trump's executive orders making DOGE a legitimate thing. And Elon Musk has set up shop and gotten to work, and they're already uncovering literally billions upon billions of dollars that the U.S. government is spending on, frivolous insanity. And the left is full on losing their fucking shit. Which one of these? I want to start with Pocahontas, since she's one of your favorites anyway. Like
She is
her
my favorite Indian. By
her
far my
meltdown.
favorite Indian.
Her meltdown is great.
Now, no one elected Elon Musk to nothing.
That's right.
Not one Democrat in America voted for Elon Musk.
Not one.
Not one Republican in America voted for Elon Musk. Not one independent in America voted for Elon Musk. Not one libertarian in America voted for Elon Musk. Damn, not one vegetarian in America voted for Elon Musk. And yet, Elon Musk is seizing the power that belongs to the American people. We are here to fight back.
Oh, Liz,
Okay.
let me stop you right there. When you said not one Republican voted for Elon Musk, everybody knew the plan for DOGE. Like, Trump made it very clear. They talked about it. It was part of the fucking stump speeches and everything. We all knew what was coming, and we 100% voted for that. That's exactly what we wanted.
Yeah, this is not something like, yes, Elon Musk was not on the ballot, but he was attached to the guy running for president. They were attached at the hip, essentially, for the last like 3 months of the campaign, talking about setting up the Department of Government Efficiency. This is well before the election, talking about what they're going to do, how they're going to cut all this government waste and everything. So actually, yeah, everybody voted for the guy who was attached to the hip with Elon Musk. And by the way, this idea that like, oh, an unelected billionaire is seizing the power that belongs to the people. Yeah. By dismantling a CIA slush fund. What power of the people is involved in that? It's just amazing to watch them. The slightest cuts to government, and they absolutely freak out. They didn't seem to have any problem when unelected bureaucrats were running the actual fucking country for the last 4 years, when we had a zombie in Joe Biden with complete dementia, totally unfit for even being a Walmart greeter. Nobody seemed to care who was running the country then. Anybody know who was in charge of the White House? Because it was not Joe Biden. Absolutely not. It's a bunch of unelected people.
Let's listen to Maxine Waters. I know she's another one of your favorites.
Oh, God, yes.
California!
These fucking people still
Hello,
around.
everybody.
Die already.
We have convened here in the right place, the Treasury Department. We have got to tell Elon Musk, nobody elected your ass. Nobody told you could get all of our private information. Nobody told you could be in charge of the payments of this country. We have told you've made enough money off our government yourself. And now you want to take everybody else's payroll and make sure that they don't make the kind of money that you've made. Oh, you want to use our money to go to Mars? No, we want to use our money right here in Washington, D.C., in this country.
Except that you don't want to use this money in Washington, D.C. and in this country, because everything that Elon has found is billions upon billions of dollars that are going overseas for funding
Tranny shit in fucking Guatemala or something.
Oh, and culturally appropriate Sesame Street for Iraq. And like all of this other, y'all don't want to spend the money in, and that was the thing with the USAID, which we'll get more into the USAID stuff. But like all of the things that they found that USAID money was going to, it's fucking insane. The amount of money that was going overseas, not to help the U.S. government or not to help the U.S. citizens, to help bureaucrats and lawyers and politicians and all of these others who are the ones who have been running things that were not elected by anybody. I did like the Zero Hedge comment on this. It said, should we tell? So Maxine Waters says, we got to tell Elon Musk nobody elected your ass. Should we tell Maxine Waters that no one elected George Soros and the far left globalist billionaires either?
Right. Well, and it's like he wants to, keep all these this government money for himself or something. It's like, okay, yeah, he has like these government contracts, but Maxine Waters' entire existence is based off of keeping government money for herself. She's gotten filthy fucking rich off of being just a government leech. And by the way, like Donald Trump could be doing all of this if he wanted to. He's just delegated it to Elon. He's like, okay, Elon, yeah, take the reins of Doge and go crazy.
Well, and like the crazy thing is they are now complaining about how much money Elon made from government contracts and subsidies and stuff like that, except that all of that stuff was left-wing agenda stuff. It was all the green energy, electric car, all of that stuff. So it's all stuff that they were really happy about and really wanted more of at the time. But now that he's like helping dismantle the bureaucratic state, now they hate that he took that money. It's like, which way do you want it? Like when he took it and was building Tesla and doing all of this stuff to push the green agenda, you were really happy about it. Like,
yeah. And just, I mean, pull up this. Oh, we still have more unhinged retards, don't we?
Hey,
okay.
like, Ayanna Pressley, we can let her be the last one because she's exceptionally unhinged. I mean, the bald head says it all, but
we will see you in the courts, in Congress, in the streets. Elon Musk is a Nazi Nepo baby.
Nazi Nepo baby. Oh.
Dude, it's become its own syndrome. You got Donald Trump, you got fucking Trump derangement syndrome, and now you have Musk derangement syndrome. What has he really done? Okay, yeah, the USAID, it's like not even pretending to be like foreign aid, really. The vast majority of it is just absolutely fucking ridiculous shit. And it's like the way that the fucking deep state pays people off. It pays themselves off in the process.
Elon's response
to go to bat for this. Huh?
Elon's response to all this is beautiful.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah. Well, dude, that's the best part about this is like everything's moving so fast. It's just a complete Donald Trump blitzkrieg. Speaking of the Nazis, they're just blitzkrieging the liberals with this shit, and they can't keep up. They're outraged about this, but by fucking Monday there'll be 3 more executive orders destroying something else that they didn't know that they cared about until Donald Trump fucking pointed it out and got rid of it. How many people knew that USAID existed? How many of these people?
Right.
Yeah. And just to go to bat for, like, there's just so much government waste. They're spending $7 trillion. So you got to figure at least 5 trillion of that is completely unnecessary spending. It's complete bullshit. It's the government. But it's like you try to cut just a little bit and look at them freak out. Look at them freak out. They're not even really getting rid of USAID. Yes, 97% of it is gone. They're still keeping 294 employees. That's, in my opinion, 294 too many. They're just rolling it into the State Department. It's not even an actual fucking complete destruction, and they're freaking out.
Yeah, everything about it is just incredible. Buck Johnson had commented on a post I made. He said Trump is hitting them so fast that they can't keep up. So now they're just forced to focus on Elon because they don't know where else to, like, at least that gives them a person. Because what they've proven over the last, I don't know, since 2015 is the only thing that they're really capable of is picking one person and just attacking that person and calling them a Nazi and everything else and a fascist and all of that. Like, they don't actually have any ability to wage a battle against real substantive things. So they have to just pick a person and try to attack that person. And so because things are moving so fast, and Elon is the one who has kind of made himself be, and honestly, the only reason that Elon has made himself like the focal point of their attacks is because he goes after them every single day on X. Like he is just constantly shit posting and trolling them to keep them enraged. So they've lost their ability to focus on Trump because Elon's the one that's just smacking them around every day. And now they're like, okay, that's the guy that's offending us, so we have to go after him. Like it's a thing of fucking beauty.
Yeah, it really is. It just, I don't know, just the good old fashioned Schadenfreude, watching people freak out.
That's another thing. They always do this. Like you're standing in front of a mic and they're up there screaming. It's like, okay, if you're going to be that loud, like take a step back and make some space so that you're not like distorting the whole thing. Like, yeah, they're
just so fired up, Justin. They can't let these Nazis take control of all their private information. Like, okay, yeah, like how much? I don't even know. Was that report even true that he's like getting access to private information?
No.
What sort of private information do they have at USAID on like you, for example?
From what I have found on it, he's getting access to all of the same information that they already have, like everybody else in the government has.
But he's unelected. Oh my God.
Because it's the first time somebody unelected had got access to anything. This is one of my favorite the last week in a nutshell. Trump is moving so fast, liberals can't keep up with what they're protesting. They went from abortion to Elon, to trans, to Elon, to immigration, to Elon, to planes, to USA, to Elon, to Gaza, to, you guessed it, Elon. All in 17 days.
Yeah, it's, dude, Elon can really get under their fucking skin now. I guess, yeah, once he bought Twitter, like that was sort of the nail in the coffin. And now anything he does is just immediate freak out. It's
well, that's the thing, because Twitter was the place that they could go to have their echo chamber, where they could feel like they were legitimized by a social media platform that allowed them to say everything that they wanted to and kept anybody who disagreed with them from saying anything. And then Elon bought Twitter, said he was going to make it into a free speech platform and actually allow people to have, discourse and talk about the issues and the news and the topics and the things that are going on. And as soon as he started unbanning people that never should have been banned to begin with, that was it. They lost their shit, because that meant they actually would have their moronic opinions challenged again. And their moronic opinions can't stand up to a challenge. So then all they have is to resort to calling people Nazi and fascist and everything else. So like that was the beginning of the end for a lot of these insane people like Ayanna Pressley and Maxine Waters. And, they were already, close to going over the edge anyway. And then that was the tipping point.
Dude, we got all these fucking geriatrics in government. Like, just get the fuck out. I'm so sick of listening to like old grandmas fucking whine about shit. Pocahontas and dude, oh God, Maxine Waters is just, she's one of the dumbest people I've ever fucking seen. Like, put sentences together. And she's still there, making millions off of being just a complete leech on society. At least Elon Musk produces something of value. It's wild, dude. And to watch them freak, like, again, they always pick like the worst battles when it comes to like the racism thing. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, George Floyd's our guy. Michael Brown's our guy. That's who we're rolling with. Like the biggest pieces of shit on the fucking face of the earth. And here it's like, okay, yeah, USA, like pick your fucking battles, dude. The CIA slush fund, fucking $40 billion, $50 billion a year spent overseas on a bunch of fucking nonsense. Everybody should be for that. Like, this should not be offensive at all. Like cutting government. Yeah, where does some of this cash go?
16 million to Ukraine. 1.6 million to Ethiopia.
I think that's 16 billion. That's 16,000 million.
Oh yeah. Okay, so that's 16 billion to Ukraine. Oh, did you see the thing where Zelensky was talking about like we talked about it the other day, like the 172 billion that they were supposed to have gotten, like 100 billion of it's missing.
Yep.
What?
Right.
Anyway, USAID is sending 16 billion to Ukraine, another billion to Ethiopia, Jordan, $1 billion to Afghanistan. Why are we still sending all this money to Afghanistan? Like, we left Afghanistan. It's in the hands of the Taliban now. So we're still funding the Taliban, basically. Another $1 billion to Somalia, 936 million to what is that? The Democratic Republic of the Congo, I believe, is what DRC is.
Yeah. Yep.
Just short of 900 million to Syria, 800 to Nigeria, 800 more to Yemen, 700 to South Sudan.
Yeah.
I mean,
so, and I mean, what's the argument here for why we need this? Tell me, fucking deranged leftist, because you're all about, poor people in America and the common man, right? Why are we spending all this money overseas? Don't you want to, end homelessness here? Don't you want to give free health care to everybody here?
If 40 billion was enough to end world hunger, why hasn't the 16 billion done anything for Ukraine?
Yeah.
Why didn't we use that 16 billion to, put a dent in world hunger? And that's just like per year. So if that's, if this is the amount of money that USAID is spending every fucking year, why hasn't world hunger ended? And then, so now their big like talking point on the USAID stuff is soft power, which is just giving up the game in itself. Like, oh, well, this is like our soft power to dictate everything all over the world. It's like, okay, so like, do you want us to have like this American empire that reaches out and touches everything or not? Like, because you don't until we start cutting out the funding that does that. And now, oh, well, that's our soft power. That's how we make sure that it's like, okay, so.
And then they find one halfway decent thing that they did out of the 40 billion. They spent like 100 million or something on like research for a disease, and they're like, oh, you left these people in a lurch. It's like, okay, I don't know what to tell you. Government shouldn't be doing any of this shit. None of it. It's all fucking illegal. And just I mean, you have to be able to cut something. What do you think they could cut that the left just wouldn't freak out about? I even think they'd freak out about the military. They claim that they don't, but I bet you if they have the military budget tomorrow, they'd freak out about something.
Well, I mean, here's something obvious that could potentially be cut, but this would put a freak out on them too. Here we go.
Let me give you an example of how screwed up the data is, Mr. President. This is a strong indicator of what's wrong. The Social Security Administration, if you ask them, will tell you that there are, according to their records, there are 6.5 million Americans living today in America who are 112 years of age or older. They say there are 6.5 million Americans who are at least 112 years old or older. Now, I don't know about you, Mr. President, but I don't know anybody who's 112 years old. And I checked, at any given time, there are about 40 people on an ongoing basis in the world who are fortunate enough to live to be 100.
All right, so I actually fact checked some of this because that's what I do. There are currently in the U.S. 75 living U.S. citizens who are 110 years old or older. Total 75 who are 110 and older. Now that's like
not 6.5 million.
No, not 6.5 million. In fact, in the United States, there are 89,000 living Americans who are 100 years old or older. So again, not 6.5, not even 6.5 million who are just 100 and older. Like 89 or 89,000.
112 the extreme example, but how many between 65 and 112 are complete bullshit? And
Right.
what's the average age? Is like 78 or 79 now, I think. So yeah, there's probably tens of millions of people that have already died that are somebody's still collecting their fucking paychecks. 75 is more than I would have thought at 112, by the way. I would have thought it'd be less than 10 or something.
110 and up. So like when you go to 112 to the oldest is like 114. When you go to 112 to 114, it's like the total is like 8 or 10. It's not a whole lot. Like there's a whole bunch in that 110 to 112 range, and then after you hit 112, it drops off. Apparently that's like the termination point. But if you do the math on this further, 6.5 million at 112 years old. If the average monthly Social Security payment is around $2,000, it's like $1,975 is the average. So we'll say, for rounding purposes, we'll say $2,000 a month. So $2,000 a month for 6.5 million people, extrapolated out over the course of 12 months, that's $156 billion that's being paid out to dead people every year. Every fucking year. And so I just looked this up. There's over 80,000 people working for the fucking Social Security Administration. You can't have one person that goes through them and like, hey, I don't think there's 6.5 million 112-year-old people on the fucking payroll here. We can't look into this at all. That doesn't raise any red flags. Nothing. You're just going to piss away hundreds of billions of dollars. That's just on the 112s, dude. Right. Oh. That's not even, I mean, how many people from 80 to 100 are actually dead? How many, it's like, how many do they have on the records? Yeah. They're paying out Social Security for more people than are even alive in this country at all. It's no wonder that Social Security spends $1.5 trillion a year. Right. Yeah. It's like, you cannot, it is a Ponzi scheme. You can't fix it, but you could improve it somewhat. Like, it doesn't have to be a complete fucking shit show. It really is just absolutely ridiculous. Well, that was one of the 80,000 people. That was one of the things that Elon talked about, like leading up to the election and everything with the DOGE stuff. He was like, the number one thing that is a huge, just black hole for money in the government is Social Security. And there's no way that we can get rid of that. But I mean, if you go through the books and just find how many dead people are getting Social Security payments every month, you might be able to shave 200, 300, 400 billion off of it. And I mean that if you can get it from if you can get it down under $1 trillion a year, that's progress, if nothing else. It's so okay. We can't cross-reference checks that we're cutting every month with death certificates. That's too hard to do. Got 80,000 people. Nobody can fucking work on that. How about every fucking 10 years, you have to verify your identity to keep the checks coming? Remember after COVID, whenever they sent out the stimulus checks, how many millions of dead people received stimulus checks? How many people who aren't even U.S. citizens, like stimulus checks were going out to people overseas? Like how many billions of dollars got paid out in these stimulus checks to people who don't even fucking exist? It's like, yeah, I mean, that obviously that should have been the tipping point that people should have been like, okay, so if they fucked up that bad on that, how bad are they fucking up on literally everything else? Right. Yeah. You can't even keep track of people if they're alive or dead. But yeah, I'm sure, if you mess up your taxes or something, they got those 80,000 that'll crawl right up your fucking ass and put you in prison for, messing up one of the most complicated fucking things on the face of the earth, which is the U.S. tax code. But yeah, they can't be bothered to just make sure that they're not sending money to fucking dead people for decades. I guarantee you, let's see, 6.5 million. So over 6 million of those people have been dead for fucking 20 years. It's just like, and they're still getting fucking money. Right. How much has this cost just over our lifetimes? Because nobody's checking it. Yeah.
Yeah, but the second you even try it, it's like, oh, he wants to take away Social Security. He's going to cut your benefits. He's a Nazi.
Saying all of these people are 112 years old. That means when we were born, they were 72. So they had already been receiving Social Security benefits for 5, 6, 7 years. Like, how many of them have been dead for most of our lifetimes?
Yeah, a lot of them probably during COVID.
Right.
I mean, what, they would have been fucking 100 and something during COVID, 105, 106, 108. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. 108-year-olds die of COVID. That's like the one job that they have. It's almost exclusive. That's what they do. 108-year-olds die when they get sick, and everybody was getting COVID. So the fact that there's still 6.5 million 112-year-olds after, you know, the plague literally struck down on us.
Once again, 6 million seems a little high.
Yeah, 6.5. Dude. Jesus Christ. I'd be like, dude, if I'm in charge of the Social Security Administration and I see that that's happening, I'm like, nope, shut it down. 0 of these people are getting a check next month, and we'll sort it out from there. Let them prove to me that they're 112. It's a lot easier to do that than to go through 6.5 million fucking files. Like you said, there's 75 of them. Okay, have those 75 people call me. It's like, if they call me and they sound like they're 112 years old, I'll restart the checks.
Yeah.
They probably don't even know how to use a phone, dude. 112 years old. They're going to send it on like by horse and buggy.
What else is losing money in all of this that the left's freaking out?
We can't possibly touch it. Of course not. It's every dollar they spend is sacred.
Especially the money that goes to fund Politico. That's a really big deal.
Dude, this is outrageous, man. Yeah. 27.
Politico,
it was like
Politico pleads innocent, claims tens of millions in government subscriptions are totally normal. Politico has responded to the controversy, writing in a Thursday memo that they have never received any government funding, no subsidies, grants, or handouts, not one dime in over 18 years. But the 27 million in government subscriptions to Politico Pro is simply a transaction akin to the government buying research equipment, software, and industry reports.
Okay. 27 million. What the fuck is Politico Pro? What is it? That, dude, these subscriptions are like $1,000 a month or something, 13,000 for a year for like one subscription. It was like, these numbers are absolutely fucking crazy. And of course, it just so happens that they get all these fucking subscribers during the Biden administration, and then lo and behold, Politico has nothing bad to say about the Biden administration. None whatsoever. Isn't that amazing?
They never do.
This is I don't know if I don't think I sent you this other thing. But these are, so the breakdown of this might be the breakdown of the 27.5 million that they got during the Biden administration. So here, I'll take over for a second.
Oh, fuck. Okay. So this is potentially more seedy than I had originally thought. So I just went to Politico to see how much Politico Pro costs. You cannot just subscribe. You have to request a subscription. Like, you have to put in a request. Like,
oh, they don't just they vet their subscribers.
Yeah. So
name another subscription-based service that does that.
Right. Like, cause I was just trying to like sign up to see the plans and how much it costs and everything. You have to apply for it. You have to make a request, and then.
Well, apparently they really like people from the Department of Health and Human Services, because they got 5.2 million from that department. Department of Energy, 3.79 million. Department of Interior, 3.5. 2 million from the Department of Agriculture. They really need Politico, I'm sure. EPA, 1.6. Executive Office of the President, 1.3 million from those guys. Okay. Department, like they need Politico. The breaking news from Politico. Department of Transportation, 1.3. Department of Commerce, 1.1. A Government Accountability Office, 983,000. Treasury, the Treasury Department, 977,000. By the way, this is a great example of all the departments that we could axe today that we don't need. Health and Human Services, Energy, Agriculture, EPA, Department of Transportation, Department of Commerce, Government Accountability. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? There's no accountability in government whatsoever. It's the biggest oxymoron ever. So we get rid of, I don't know, seven out of 8 of these, or 6 out of 8 of these. Absolutely, dude. There's a great list of where we should just get rid of entire departments. Commerce will just happen. Agriculture will just happen. We don't need it. The transportation, really? Unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. Oh man, it just stopped me out. All right, let me close that down. It's distracting me. Anyway, oh sorry, I'll stop sharing.
Well, I mean, so that means Politico is basically government funded left wing rag. NPR and PBS are both in the same boat as well. Those are two others that DOGE is currently looking at. I think NPR and PBS combine for about $535 million a year in government funding. I mean, that seems like a lot, right? Like, does it really take $535 million a year to run NPR and PBS? So those are two others that are currently under the DOGE target, and that's got the the leftists all in a tizzy too, because they need NPR is a super trusted news site. They need NPR to give us the news. Otherwise, how would we ever get the news? As if there aren't like literally thousands of other ways to get your news these days.
Yeah. Okay. So this is from Twitter. Political Pro is different. It's a professional subscription service, hence the Pro, used by companies, organizations, and yes, some government agencies. They subscribe because it makes them better at their jobs, helping them track policy, legislation, and regulations in real time with news, intelligence, and a suite of data projects. At its core, Political Pro is about transparency and accountability. Okay. Shining a light on the work of the agencies, regulators, and policymakers throughout our vast federal government. Businesses and entities within the government find it useful as they navigate the chaotic regulatory and legislative landscape. It's that simple. Okay. So because the government has designed this chaotic regulatory apparatus, and there's way too many government agencies with way too many employees spending way too much money on God knows what, and there's all this legislation coming through and we can't keep track of it. Now we have to give Politico $27 million because the government has made a mess of everything.
And they're not even giving Politico $27 million to do anything. They're just giving them $27 million so that the dipshits in government can see what Politico is reporting on this stuff. But Politico is reporting on all of the things that the dipshits who are subscribing to it are involved in and should probably know about anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're saying like this is, boom, this is why we have it. Look at this. It's like, yeah, I don't think that's the dunk you thought it was. The government's so fucked up and retarded that the employees that work for them don't know what's going on, and so they have to pay somebody else to figure out how to do their jobs.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Let's keep that money coming. How about we just fire everybody? How about we do that?
Or we could give everybody the option to take a buyout and just leave.
Yeah. Oh, dude, tell me 10 million people took the buyout.
60,000. 60,000 had signed up before this judge. The judge blocked it because he questions the legality of it. But so basically all he did was extend the deadline to Monday So instead of having until Thursday to sign up for it, now they have until Monday. 60,000 government employees had signed up by the time the judge put the block on it, and then the more or less from the way I've read this and I'm understanding it, this just means that like the block is going to expire on Monday, and then they'll have had until that point to sign up if they want to. They also so there were a couple different like exemptions from the buyout program, a couple different like departments and stuff. And I think one of them was the FBI or CIA. Yeah, it's in a different link. Hang on, let me pull that one up. The entire CIA gets the Trump buyout offer. So originally the CIA had been exempted from the buyout, and then they reversed that. So now the entire CIA is eligible for the buyout. There was another department as well that had previously been exempted and is now eligible for the buyout. 60,000 in like 3 days is fucking crazy. I mean,
yeah. But there's just so many people that work for the goddamn federal government, though. That's a drop in a bucket. There's like 20 million people that work for the government, dude.
And I don't understand why they're fighting so hard to block this. Like, you don't want to work.
It's a great fucking deal, dude. You get 9 months of like a 9-month paid vacation.
Right. You don't want to work for Trump. You don't want to work for the Trump administration. You're going to get paid all the way out through September. You don't have to go back to work. You've got 9 months to find another job and do fuck all whatever else you want to do. Like, why are they trying to stop this? You would think they would be like, you would think they would all be jumping in.
I'd be one of those 60,000. Absolutely. Fuck yeah, I would.
I even like Trump and I'd still take it.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, dude, imagine, and do they get it? Yeah, it's a buy. So you get it in like one lump. You get the money up front.
I'm sure you can do it in deferred payments, or like I'm sure they give.
I'll take the fucking lump sum, dude.
Yeah, take the lump.
9 months salary. Might not have to work again if you fucking play your cards right, depending on how much you're making.
Right.
Which some of these people are probably making a shit ton, a lot more than they should be. Yeah, it really is just. It's very generous. I would not be doing that. You're not getting a fucking buyout from me. You've gotten enough.
Yeah, come back to work or fuck off. Like, if you don't report back to work, then you don't have a job.
Yeah, it should be that simple. But yeah,
like the judge that's trying to call this into question, I feel like that's going to, like, the fact that you already had 60,000 people sign up for it is going to hurt his case on that.
Yeah. It's like, who cares if it's again, dude, like they're complaining that like maybe DOGE doesn't have the legality to do everything that it's doing. It's just like, oh yeah, we need to make sure that the dismantling of the biggest criminal organization on the face of the earth is all above board. Like, I don't care how they take it apart.
Well, and at this point, DOGE isn't doing anything. DOGE is finding what's wrong, telling Trump, and then Trump's putting executive orders in place. So yeah, DOGE doesn't have authority to do anything. DOGE is also not doing anything other than digging in. Yeah,
it's like having an advisor. The president can have any advisor that he wants. It's fucking president, and he can choose whether or not to take their advice. It's not a matter of like electing Elon Musk. No. They elected Donald Trump. Donald Trump surrounded himself with these people to get their advice on things. And now he's going to execute on the advice that they give him. It's pretty fucking straightforward. I just wish that they would execute a little more and harder. Harder, daddy.
So I just noticed this in one of these articles that talks more about the U.S. aid stuff. Part of the mainstream media contracts that were like with the Politico stuff, there was also contracts for the BBC and for Bloomberg as well. And they canceled all of that. Like the Politico, the BBC contracts, the Bloomberg contracts, everything. It's all of that gone.
Yeah. So he's just like, yep, no more media horse shit. which you wouldn't even think you'd have to say that, but you do, because this is what the government has been doing. And the fact that people are more upset that they're going through these things and trying to clean it up instead of being upset that, yo, what the fuck were they doing with this money? It's incredible, man. That is Trump derangement syndrome in a nutshell, where it's just like, yeah, no, these guys are wasting $40 billion a year. Look at all this corrupt shit that they're doing. And look at this. They're like talking about the freedom of the press and everything like that. It's like, yeah, you're going to have a real free press when they're getting $27 million from the fucking federal government. But the second you point that out, they're just like, hey, we don't like the guy that pointed it out. Not the fact that what he's pointing out is like, yo, this is fucking bullshit.
Well, that's like with the USAID stuff. It's what they're doing with that is they cut 97% of the staff, and all of USAID is going to get rolled into the delegation of the Secretary of State. So Marco Rubio will be responsible for that instead of it all going from like whoever was running it before. Now it'll actually be run through the State Department. And like here's the list of like a bunch of the stuff that they found. 20 million for a Sesame Street show in Iraq, 7.9 million to teach Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid gender binary language, 4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan, 1.5 million for art for inclusion of people with disabilities, 2 million for sex change and LGBT activism in Guatemala, 6 million for transformed digital spaces to reflect feminist democratic principles. Why is the government funding something like that? 25 million for Deloitte to promote green transportation in the country of Georgia. Why not use 25 million to promote green transportation in the state of Georgia? Why in the country of Georgia? 10 million worth of U.S. aid funded meals, which went to an Al-Qaeda linked terrorist group. 16 million for a separate inclusion group in Vietnam. This, it's all just insane.
Dude, it should, like, nobody should be against getting rid of this. There's no argument. There's zero argument for any of this stuff.
5.5 million for LGBT activism in Uganda. What?
Like, what the actual fuck? Like, so just so you know, these are all just, if you haven't noticed, they're just using a bunch of buzzwords for all this money. LGBTQ that, LGBT this, LGBT that, blah, 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 blah. It's all bullshit. They're just paying off fucking cronies. That's all they're doing. Nobody's actually going to fucking Guatemala and teaching LGBTQ shit. Nobody. It should be infuriating. The fact that people are going, like I said, this is the fight that they're picking to choose. Like, no, you can't cut that. God forbid, we should cut it. We should cut that. It's just like, what? Who cares? Let the fucking Ugandans figure out how to put digital horse shit about women's studies or whatever the fuck that thing said. Like, I don't know. Who cares? It's not our problem.
And the thing is, we've known that this stuff was there. We just didn't like. Rand Paul does his annual thing every Christmas. What's the Seinfeld thing? Shit. He does his annual Festivus thing and airs his grievances and he posts a lot of this stuff every year. So, but only people who like really pay attention to Rand Paul were seeing that stuff. It didn't often get any kind of real traction. With this, Elon Musk put all this shit on blast. Like, it's all out there. People can say, I hear these moronic leftists say that Twitter is dead and X is dead and it's, nobody uses it anymore. It is the platform where everything is getting shared. Like, yeah, when 100%. When Elon Musk posts this stuff on X, people notice, and it becomes not just a cultural thing here in the US, it becomes a global thing. People all over the world see it. I've done an episode on my own show where I talked about Elon getting involved in German and British politics, and like having he wrote a whole like article in German and sent it to a German newspaper about some of the stuff that they've had going on. Like he is
Sounds like a
having
Nazi.
yeah,
Speaks
he is
German.
not yeah. So he is influencing stuff all over the place. So when he posts all this stuff, it's not the same as when Rand Paul does his annual Festivus list. Like people all over the world are seeing this, and now everybody's like, holy shit. Like we knew that all of this was happening, but now everybody else is getting their eyes open to the things we've known for 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still stunned that there are people that support this.
Right.
Let's just go through it line by line. Which one of these line items can we not live without? Like, I'd love to hear Pocahontas talk about it. Yeah. Unbelievable. Fucking yeah, there's nothing for the Native Americans in there. Pocahontas, what the fuck? Let's get something for the feathers. And something for the dots. Nothing over in Dotville either. Not doing anything with the Indians.
And notice all of this, or not all, but the overwhelming majority of this stuff is going to Africa and the Middle East, where there is no structure, no real
accountability.
Right.
Government Department of Accountability. I'm sure they're on it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no tracking. There's no anything. It's like you are just like throwing millions of dollars into the wind, and then whoever catches it, that's who it gets to go to.
Yeah. Is there like a report that shows like where they put them? Like I want to see the people. Show me the fucking names and like how much they were paid, when they were paid, what they did. Like that's what I would love to see. We always just hear it's like, yeah, 6 million for this, 10 million for that. It's like, all right, who got it? Who got the fucking money?
Well, that was something that I did Don the Pleb and I talked about, like Trump's executive orders and stuff on Tuesday night and some of this stuff. And that was something that he was talking about was what people generally don't understand is who got it are usually ACLU lawyers who are representing the interest of these groups in these countries. So it doesn't actually go to these places where they say that it's going. It goes to a bunch of ACLU lawyers so that they can then make the case for why this stuff needs to be done. So whether or not any of this ever actually gets done is probably not, more often than not.
Yeah. Can you pull up the list again? I just want to look at one more thing.
Yeah, let me close it. I can pull it up.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on this. I'm sure we'll get a progress report on some of these things. Yeah, I'd like to go back to Guatemala, hike some more volcanoes. That was fun. I'll check in on the what were they doing in Guatemala? Sex changes.
Yeah, $2 million for sex changes.
Okay. Yeah, that seems like something our government should be funding with money that they steal from the American people. It's just unbelievable. Unfucking believable that they can get away with this. Who signs off on this? Oh yeah, it's just buried in a fucking 2,000-page bill with, $1 trillion worth of spending.
Oh, here we go. $5 million to Eco Health Alliance, one of the key NGOs funding bat virus research at the Wuhan lab. U.S. aid funded COVID is what I'm hearing from that.
Yeah. Only 1 million. Oh, Armenian LGBT. Like, dude, look at all these fucking fags around the world that are getting money from us. Must be nice.
20 million for a group related to a key player in the Russiagate impeachment hoax. $1.5 million to promote LGBT activism or advocacy in Jamaica. $1.5 million to rebuild the Cuban media ecosystem.
What is that? What does that even mean? Ecosystem. Okay, so Cuban propaganda.
$2 million to promote LGBT equality through entrepreneurship in Latin America.
Yeah, $8.3 million for USAID education, equity, and inclusion.
What does that even mean? Oh, $500,000. $500,000 to solve the sectarian violence in Israel. literally 10 days before Hamas attacked on October 7th.
Well, hopefully some of those Arab and Jewish photographers got some good pictures for the 1.3 million we paid them.
Artisanal and small-scale gold mining in the Amazon. What's artisanal gold mining?
Artisanal gold mining. I don't know. They must do it with like fancy, like old school tools or something. We mine gold the way they did 200 years ago.
Fucking hipsters are ruining the world.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. I mean, again, we know that this is just a drop in a bucket, but this is the level of horseshit that's going on at every single government agency. We could easily cut 10, 20% across the board. The chances are almost none of it would be affecting anybody in the continental United States. And even if you were, it's just like, okay, get it down to 6 trillion a year. How would we start with that? And then 5 trillion, and then 4 trillion, and then let's see like how much of this fucking thing we actually need in our day-to-day lives. Because those 60,000 employees, they have not been working for God knows how long. They're not going to go back to work because I think that that stay is just going to expire, and then the buyout will go through, and your life won't change at all. 60,000 employees could evaporate over a weekend, and nothing is going to change in your life. Absolutely nothing. How many more could we get rid of is the question. Oh, I'd love to be able to find out. Love to be able to find out. Unfortunately, I don't think we're not going to get the Malay type destruction, but it's certainly better than nothing. That's for sure. Certainly better than nothing. All right. What else do we have on the docket?
The last thing that we really have is the January jobs growth stuff, or I guess lack of jobs growth.
Yeah. I thought we'd just cover that today real quick.
Be a good wind down for the show. January jobs growth below estimates amid massive revisions, which trim unemployment and reduce historic payrolls. I'm sure this is all 100% Donald Trump's fault because, that's the January jobs growth, and he went into office on January 20th.
Correct.
So in the 10 days he was in office, he did all of this. It was his fault. Same with the egg prices. Egg prices are up because Donald Trump's been in office for 2 weeks.
Right.
Not because they've literally been killing millions upon millions upon millions of chickens under the ruse of bird flu. It's totally because Donald Trump.
Yeah, wasn't it like 100 million chickens or something?
Oh my God, it's so many.
And it's just like, dude, do these people ever get anything right? Like, I've never seen, I can't remember the last time like a fucking one of these like liberal people that I saw a couple, like some congresswoman or whatever was posting a selfie next to eggs. And it's just like, you guys are just so goddamn dishonest.
Yeah.
The
thing with the chickens is like, for people who don't know anything about like how chickens are housed and grown and how like layeries and stuff work, they're all in like individual barns. So, and each individual barn is basically a closed ecosystem. They have air filters and everything else. So if you have some birds that test positive for bird flu, or that, God forbid, that die of bird flu, then you can just isolate the one house and let it run. Whatever lives, and whatever dies, but like, that's it. But instead, what they're doing is when a farm has, a couple chickens that test positive for bird flu, they come in and they wipe out the whole fucking farm. Like, how, in what universe does this make? That would be like let's go back to COVID. That would be like if, say, during COVID, you had one person in the nursing home that tested positive for COVID, and then you just nuke the nursing home because, you can't risk that getting out.
Yeah.
That's what this is akin to. And that's why your egg prices are higher. It has, like the judiciary and and these like regulatory agencies that are the FDA and the USDA, those need to be next in Trump's radar, or next in Trump's bullseye. Like that's who they need to go after for the overreach of bureaucratic bullshit. I know they're talking about going after the Department of Education next. More power to them. Cool. Gut that fucking thing, set it on fire, and push it off a cliff. But after you get done with that, USDA, FDA, like those need to be next on the chopping block.
Yeah, dude, there's so much that you can cut, man. You could literally just go absolutely fucking crazy. And there's like no negative repercussions for any of this. Like I'm telling you, just can we just try it? Can we just try? Let's see what a 10% cut across the board does. Just 10%. If the government's been growing by God knows, I mean, like even Trump's first term, he grew the size of government. The government got much bigger under Trump. Like, let's just see how much of this we can get rid of before we start feeling some pain. What do you have to lose? It's not like we can't just hire them back. It really is just, yeah, okay. I the LGBTQ community in Armenia might suffer a little bit. Oh well. I think I could sleep at night. I could sleep at night if that's the case. Anyway. Ah, shit. It's just, if anything, it's just entertainment. I guess we're paying a lot for this entertainment, but it is entertaining nonetheless. And it's so much more than we would have gotten from, dude, imagine if Kamala Harris would have won the election. What would be going on right now? Did you watch that? Did you see they released her full interview with was it 60 Minutes or whatever?
Oh, really?
Did I flag it? I started to watch. I was like, oh, I don't have the patience. Yeah, I did flag it. It's here, I'll send it to you. It's like 54 minutes long. So, you won't be able to.
Maybe
your little suspension. Okay, there you go.
Send it to
yeah, I didn't have time to like get into it yet, but I was like, oh, let me see, because that was, if you guys remember, she talked to him for 55 minutes, but they only released like 18 minutes of it or something, or was it 28 minutes?
Yeah, it was a really short piece.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they completely cut out, and just how awkward and terrible she was. But
well, I mean, even what was actually released, she didn't do well. Like objectively, she did poorly.
Yeah. Right.
And
Yeah,
they refused to release this transcripts. Like everybody knew that there was a longer interview, and they only released a short portion of it. Yeah, 20 minutes. So the video on 60 Minutes was 20 minutes long. Only like 18 minutes of it was actual.
Okay. Yeah. So less than half.
Yeah.
Like, dude, imagine, wouldn't you be insulted if you sat for an interview and they only put out half of it? You'd be like, oh man, I must have really sucked. and then you look at the half that you put out and it was just fucking terrible. Oh God. But yeah, at least we have just fucking Donald Trump going ham. Oh wait, no, there's one more thing we need to talk about, which is like one of the most retarded ideas I've ever heard, which is the U.S. taking over the Gaza Strip.
We're going to turn the Gaza Strip into the new Las Vegas Strip, and it'll be great.
Oh my God. I mean, this is by far one of the worst ideas I've ever heard. Yes, Gaza is could be a beautiful territory, but it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. I'm sorry. That part of the world has been destroyed. Could you imagine if we put fucking Americans over there just to get fucking blown up and shit and drag us into World War III? Trump's just looking at it. He's like, Gaza's got great bones. got great bones. We'll rebuild it. It'll be tremendous.
He is a real estate guy after all. I mean, he's looking at this and
Can't
like,
pass up waterfront property.
I can flip this. We can flip this whole thing.
Oh my God. And Netanyahu's like, yeah, it's gonna be a good idea.
Netanyahu's just like, he's like, how much can we sell Gaza to the U.S. for? Like,
yeah,
like this would be a better deal than Greenland. We'll buy Gaza. We'll go in. We'll strip the whole thing down, rebuild with casinos and motel or hotels and all this infrastructure stuff. Yeah, we got the desert. I mean, it could seriously be Las Vegas 2.0, and then we'll turn around and sell it back to whoever wants it.
Yeah. Yeah, if only it wasn't in the middle of the biggest shit storm to ever exist on the planet.
But once you get all the people, who are currently in Gaza out, then the shit storm ends. So
yeah,
like,
but just
you got to
get rid of the Palestinians.
it's what Trump does well, or at least that's what they say. He's such a racist. That's what he does. He goes in, he evicts everybody that's there, and then he flips it. So that's
yes. If you get rid of the Palestinians, it's a beautiful place to live. Oh my God. Like over under like a week before like Iran fires some rockets over there just to hit some Americans, or some crazy Hamas guy blows up a truck somewhere and it's just like, yep, 3 US soldiers were killed or whatever, and now we got to go to war.
Trump, in an exchange with reporters while sitting next to Bibi, continued pressing the idea that Palestinians should be relocated out of Gaza. There's hardly a building standing, and the ones that are going to collapse. You can't live in Gaza right now. I think we need another location. Trump stoked further controversy by claiming Palestinians would love to leave Gaza.
Well, yeah, right now while they're being bombed to fucking oblivion, yeah, I'm sure they'd like to get out of there for that.
It's like, hey,
if the bombing were to stop, I don't think they want to give it up.
Like, once you get out, then we'll stop bombing it. Like, there are plenty of places you could go.
Yeah, except nobody wants them. Egypt won't take them. Jordan won't take them. Yeah, dude, that's just such a Trumpian thing to do. He's like, yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it over. We'll rebuild it.
It doesn't have to be one area, but you can take certain areas and you build really good quality housing, like a beautiful town, like some place where they can live and not die.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is just got disaster written all over it. But it would be there's a nice jobs program. It'll create a bunch of government jobs, a lot of no bid contracts. Another $1 trillion will go missing. And that's like the best case scenario before World War III starts. It's just like, Jesus Christ, dude. Oh, man. But yeah, compared to that, Greenland's looking like a fucking cakewalk. It's all part of the 4D chess. But he does have a way of shifting the Overton window pretty quickly. She's like, yeah, we'll take it. Gaza's ours now.
Well, and that also moved, like, there's literally nothing that's going to come of that. But it shifts the left's focus from the things that are actually going on here to now they get to be outraged about Trump talking about deporting all the Palestinians and buying Gaza and like rebuilding Gaza. Like, now they're, instead of focusing on deporting all of the illegals here, now they're all concerned about the Palestinians. So I mean, it's an amazing way of just keeping them on their heels. They don't know which direction that they need to go. And we talked about it. That was kind of the firestorm of all of the executive orders. Was you're just going to hit them with so much so fast. They have to pick their battles, and then inevitably what the left ended up doing was picking the most retarded battles that they could have. Like they went after stuff that was buzzy and got their attention instead of going after stuff that had meat to it. And like, I mean, the whole thing it's been an incredible 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. Well, play the one I just sent you. It's a short clip of Trump signing another executive order. This one didn't get as much fanfare as you would normally assume, because Donald Trump is moving like 1,000 miles an hour. And that's one of his strengths. Like, he's just got a fucking engine on him that never quits. Like, this guy's got Like I've never seen anything like it, especially at someone at that age.
We've seen more of Trump in the first 17 days of his presidency than we saw of Joe Biden in the first 17 months of his.
Yeah, easily.
Watch what I do, and then I'm going to give you some pins, okay? You ready? What a nice picture this is, huh, Governor? You ready? We'll do a good job. Wait, let me press that.
So this is Donald Trump signing an executive order in front of a bunch of
really good
little
signature.
girls.
Because this is a big one, right?
Gonna make sure it's a great signature.
Oh, I think we have a 10. We have a 10.
And he's banning transgenders in women's sports. And the only thing I saw about this was people are like, there aren't any black girls in the picture.
Okay. Good. Now you're going to go out and win those events, right? Nice.
There's no little girls of
Great
color.
going, everybody. Nice to see you. Thank you, kids. Here.
Like I said, if there were you can't win, because if there were a bunch of black girls in the crowd, they'd be calling those black girls' parents like Uncle Tom's or something for supporting Donald Trump. Yeah, he can get away with just about anything now. There's just way too much to keep up with. I think one of the lessons that he took away from his first term presidency was just like, yeah, I cannot give them a second to catch their breath. I'm just gonna go all gas, no brakes, do everything I fucking possibly can, just throw everything at the wall, and see what sticks. So, and I'm here for the fucking ride, man. It's hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Anyway,
I think, and honestly, I'm sure there are some things that are questionable or not great. I don't even care. Like, it's all the way that they're reacting to it is perfection. That's all I'm like. That's what I'm here for. I will admit there are some things in there that are stupid, that are bad, objectively bad. Some of the people that he's picked for some of these things are objectively bad. But the fact that they all piss off the left makes it worth it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Like we have touched like on some of the bad things, and they could be really bad, like going to war with the cartel on our southern border, things like that. But it's just like, I don't know, man. There's just so much, like, I don't expect much from the government anymore. You know, if we just get like a little bit of cuts and a little bit of entertainment, I don't know. I'm fine with it. And like this is they did this. You know, they've abused the power of the presidency with all these executive orders. You made this bed. Now you have to lay in it. And forgive me if I laugh at you while you fucking squirm around, because literally Hitler is signing a bunch of executive orders. Because if I remember correct, like, dude, I don't remember executive orders being like a major thing until Barack Obama like went fucking crazy with them. Yeah, they were always doing them, but they weren't like impactful ones, you know, like major fucking things. And now it's like, okay, here we go. Congress is going to, you know, delegate all of their authority to the presidency. Oh, now you got Donald Trump in there, and he's got nothing to lose, and he's just going around acting like a guy that, yeah, they tried to fucking kill twice. So he's gonna fucking bring it. I don't know what to tell you. You made your fucking bed, and I'm gonna laugh while you fucking squirm around in it. But anyway. I guess, yeah, we can get out of here on that. You got anything going on this weekend?
Absolutely not. I go back to work tonight. I'm going to sleep all weekend.
All right. I'm going to do the exact opposite. Yeah. I got some sleep last night, but yeah. I was on low battery yesterday, that's for sure. Still made it to the gym though. For all you fucking fat lazy people out there. Still made it to the gym.
Let's say it's officially February. How many people survived the first month of their New Year's resolutions? I don't ever make New Year's resolutions, so
no, never have. I'll set like a couple goals that I want to achieve for the year, but I'm never like yeah, I've never had a New Year's resolution really. And I honestly, I don't think I would stick to it. To be perfect, like, nope, probably wouldn't. I could do something for like a couple of months maybe, but yeah. But if you form a good routine and a good habit, you can achieve quite a bit. That good routines, good habits, the power of positive thinking. And let's go. About to hit target. Come on. Yeah, boom. Done and dusted. We're gonna get out of here on that.
Close
Perfect.
out on a high note.
Sorry, I've been trading this entire time.
Sounded like a TED. Sounded like
I
a
seem distracted.
Sounded like a TED talk with a trade involved, and everybody went.
I should have had that. I should have pulled up the screen for that. It's very satisfying when that happens. But I had a very unsatisfying moment today earlier, so I really just made back all my losses for today. Literally, almost a 200-point fucking drop the second I got into a trade. Like, the second. And I don't know if you guys know how this works, but when your stop loss is set, maybe you're gonna lose $100 and there's a 200-point drop in a second. You don't get filled at $100. You get filled at like $600 loss in a fucking second. So, yeah, but that's a good note to get out on here. Took me 3 trades to make all that back today, but I did it. Well, almost. I'm still down a little bit, but negligible. So yeah, it's shouldn't be trading non-farm payroll week anyway after about Wednesday.
Haven't we talked about this before?
Yes, we have. Non-farm payroll, NFP, stands for not for professionals. But if I got bored. I was like, yeah, let me just get in here. I'll take a little nibble, see what happens, and then whomp. Like, perfect timing, dude. Like 2 seconds after I click the button. And it wasn't like news coming out or anything. It was at 10:53, the magical minute of 10:53. If you guys want to look at a chart of NASDAQ futures. It's just like, okay, 175-point drop in a second. But that's part of the game, managing risk. And yep, I shouldn't have gotten into a trade there anyway. I was being overzealous. So lesson learned, the market humbles you. And what's it? It's 2:30 New York time, 1:30 here. Time for you to go to sleep. Time for me to get something to eat, and then the gym, and then the fun of the weekend starts. So,
you didn't happy hour tonight?
Are we supposed to?
I don't remember.
I don't think so. I wasn't planning on it, but no, I can't tonight. Didn't we just do one last week? Wasn't that the game night?
See, I thought it was 2 weeks ago because it was right after Ross got pardoned when Trump took office.
Oh man. Well, I could do one for like an hour, but that's about all I could do.
It is
an actual happy hour. Yeah. Otherwise, well, I could do one tomorrow. Do one Saturday.
I might could actually participate tomorrow because Saturdays are usually super. Like Friday will be batshit insane at work, but Saturday will be super duper dead. So,
that's at work though. Saturday night. Yeah, probably not this week. Maybe not. I could have sworn that was last. What was last Friday? Nope, we didn't do one last Friday. You're right. It is time for the happy hour. Well, I'll fire it up, but I'll have to duck out after like an hour and a half because I got plans tonight. I have plans. Yep, that'll be at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Traditions are important. And if you would like to participate in those, you guys missed a good game night 2 weeks ago. Actually, I forgot I'm supposed to design a shirt based off of the game that we played, the winning shirt. I think I took a picture of it. It was a great one. But yeah, you design all these fucking shirts and people vote for them. It was a lot of fun. This I think will just be a regular shoot in the breeze happy hour. I'll drink a little wine to get my night started. You don't have to drink if you don't want to, but it does make things more fun. And it's good, you know. You get to shoot the breeze with people, check in, maybe have a little spirited debate on Ross Albright or whatever the news of the day is. And if you want to participate in that, become a paying subscriber to the Substack channel. I'll link to that in the description. And for everybody else, until Tuesday, you know what to do. Just keep on peddling that so-called fiction. Peace.